Hello, my name is Shawn, editor at ScrewyMonkey.com. We are live in Las Vegas at the Fremont Street Experience, and today we're exploring the 9 shocking secrets of old Las Vegas. Fremont Street is a draw for millions of tourists every single year coming to Las Vegas. They go down there to see the glittering lights, the oversized video canopy, and enjoy some of Las Vegas's loosest slots. However, what almost everyone that visits Fremont Street does not realize is that downtown, old school Las Vegas, it has some secrets. And we're going to explore all 9 of them right now. Our first shocking secret of old Las Vegas: the First State Bank. On the northeast corner of First and Fremont Streets once stood the First State Bank. The First State Bank occupied that space for many, many years during the early days of downtown, old school Las Vegas. It stood there until it was demolished to make room for the Mint Hotel. The Mint Hotel itself was later acquired by and incorporated into Binion's, which is now Binion's Gambling Hall, and stands on that very spot to this day. The First State Bank building offered such a great vantage point for all of the bars, brothels, and other debauchery going on in the early days of Fremont Street that Clark County Sheriff Sam Gay, who was in charge during that time, was famous for sitting outside of the bank in a rocking chair, just waiting for the bad guys to come on by. He was famous for saying there's absolutely no point in going after them and going to go chase them down, because eventually they're all going to pass by here anyway, so he'd basically just sit there and wait to arrest them. Our second shocking secret of old Las Vegas: Golden Gate First. Located directly behind me right now is the Golden Gate Hotel and Casino. It is world famous as an attraction here on Fremont Street. It is an extraordinarily cool hotel. It has been here since the very beginning. It originally opened as the Hotel Nevada, and for a brief time was the Sal Sagav, which basically is Las Vegas spelled backwards. It is the home of many, many very cool things currently, but it's also the birthplace of some of the first things in Las Vegas. One of the most important firsts in all of Las Vegas took place at the Golden Gate. It was the installation of the very first telephone in all of Nevada. At the time, the hotel was under the management of Charles Pop Squires. Such a gangster name. Mr. Pop Squires decided that he needed a phone in the hotel, but he also decided that he needed one in his own private home, which was just 4 blocks away. Kind of makes you wonder what it was he was keeping tabs on. The second first that took place at the Golden Gate when it was a Hotel Nevada, and probably one of my favorite Las Vegas inventions ever, is the shrimp cocktail. That's right, if you've ever been to the Hotel Nevada / Golden Gate and you had a shrimp cocktail in your life, you ate it in the birthplace of the shrimp cocktail. In 1959, they came up with the concoction, which basically had full-size shrimp over some lettuce, dollop of cocktail sauce, served to you in a cocktail glass. The original price for the shrimp cocktail, 50 cents. That price stayed all the way until 1991, when they doubled it nearly to 99 cents. They had to do this because they discovered they were losing about $300,000 a year serving the shrimp cocktail. Sometime in the 2000s, they upped the price to $1.99 because we're presuming they were still losing money. Either way, shrimp cocktail is delicious, and the Golden Gate is the birthplace of the shrimp cocktail. Sadly, however, I have to report that you can no longer get a shrimp cocktail at the Golden Gate. That with the closure of the Dupar's restaurant that was located on the property in 2015, which is where they used to serve the shrimp cocktail, they no longer serve it. We are told, however, that Derek Stevens, who owns the Golden Gate as well as many other hotels downtown, that the recipe for the shrimp cocktail is indeed owned by the hotel, and it will make an appearance again, and it will return as soon as they have a new restaurant concept at the Golden Gate. Our third shocking secret of old Las Vegas: wall whiskey. On the site that was most recently the Golden Goose Gentlemen's Club used to set two very popular establishments in the heyday of early Fremont Street. The first one was the Barrel House Beer Garden, and the second one was the State Cafe. Sadly, the buildings that these two businesses were located in no longer exist because they are now part of the expansion project of the Golden Gate Hotel. The State Cafe was open during Prohibition and was therefore barred from selling alcohol. Now, as you might presume, being a dry business during Prohibition probably really wasn't that good for profits. So this posed an extraordinarily big problem for the State Cafe. Whatever were they going to do without the ability to serve alcohol? Well, it turns out the answer was just one hole in the wall away. The bar next door, the Beer Garden, decided that they would install a window in the wall between the two businesses for their patrons who were hungry and wanted to order food. Well, rumor has it that food wasn't the only thing being ordered through the window. It seems that patrons of the State Cafe, should they be extra thirsty and desire something a little stronger than milk, could order a special coffee pot full of whiskey from the bar next door through the hole, and it would be delivered to them at their table at the State Cafe. I'm told, however, this was only available to patrons who knew the owner well and who could keep a secret. Our fourth shocking secret of old Las Vegas: Vegas Vic is a triplet. Outside of what is now a gift shop and what used to be the Pioneer Club when it was located on Fremont Street, you will find Vegas Vic. Vegas Vic is a 40-foot tall neon cowboy who has been smoking the same everlasting cigarette while welcoming visitors for over 65 years. Vegas Vic is such an iconic part of Fremont Street, it would be hard to imagine downtown Las Vegas without him. As iconic as Vegas Vic is, though, he is definitely not alone. In fact, there are two other brother statues that are identical or virtually identical to Vegas Vic, all made by the same sign maker. In fact, the very closest replica of Vegas Vic is only 90 miles south of Las Vegas in Laughlin, Nevada. It stands outside of the Pioneer Club on the Colorado River, and that statue is just about as identical to Vegas Vic as you can possibly get, except for some changes in the color scheme. And that iconic sign goes by the name of River Rick. Vic's third brother, known as Windover Will, can be located in Windover, Nevada, specifically West Windover, Nevada, where he was originally created as a mascot for the State Line Casino. The casino is long since gone, but Windover Will still lives on, welcoming visitors as the official mascot of the town as they enter, waving them on, saying, "Welcome to Windover." Our fifth shocking secret of old Las Vegas: notorious Block 16. So I'm currently standing on top of a parking structure for the Binion's Hotel and Casino here on Fremont Street. And you might think, why am I standing on top of a parking structure? There can't be anything exciting about a parking structure. But back in the day when Fremont Street was just a little more than a little collection of businesses, and right after the land auction that created this area, this was one of the most exciting places to be. So just off of Fremont Street, you're going to find an extraordinarily large parking structure that belongs to the Binion's Hotel and Casino. It has never made sense to me how it is that this hotel got all of this real estate for this ginormous parking garage. It was until I found out that that parking garage sits on the site of what was the notorious Block 16. See, the entire downtown area, it got started as a result of a land auction. Each little block, each little parcel had a number. Turns out Block 16 and I think Block 17 were the only parcels that were annexed and allowed to serve alcohol. This led to the creation of some rather interesting businesses on Block 16, namely bars and brothels. In fact, it has been said that Block 16 from about 1906 to almost 1940 contained one of the largest concentrations of brothels ever found in the country. Block 16 would have remained a haven for prostitution well past the 40s if it wasn't for the fact that the US Army really wanted to build a base and housing nearby. See, when they wanted to build this, they were concerned that all of the soldiers would spend the majority of their time in the brothels instead of, I don't know, doing army things. So they put pressure on the local government in old Las Vegas to close down the brothels in exchange for building the housing and bringing the military jobs to town. And of course, they did just that. They demolished the brothels, and that cleared way for a ginormous parking structure to be built eventually for Binions. Our sixth shocking secret of old Las Vegas: the first casino hotel concept was born there. From about 1905 until about 1946, virtually every business built along Fremont Street was little more than a bar and some slot machines. If they had any hotel rooms at all, they were usually for the sole purpose of complying with a local ordinance that said that only establishments that are hotels or motels could serve alcohol. So the bars would simply tack on 1 or 2 rooms, sometimes for rent, usually to a prostitute, and call themselves a hotel so that they could then serve some alcohol outside of the notorious blocks 16 and 17, which were the only blocks where alcohol was allowed to legally be served. That all changed with the design, construction, and building of the Golden Nugget. The Golden Nugget was the very first casino hotel property to be designed as just that, a grand luxury casino hotel. That concept was further expanded upon in 1972 all the way up until 1977 under the leadership of Steve Wynn. You might know Steve Wynn from his iconic resort on the Las Vegas Strip, as well as his massive luxury properties across the world, and also from his years of leadership that came after the Golden Nugget at MGM. Steve Wynn took the Golden Nugget from a moderate upscale casino resort to a grand casino resort by building almost 1,900 hotel rooms on the property, all of which still exist today, from the time he was there in 1972 all the way until 1975. Our seventh shocking secret of old Las Vegas: Viva Vision was almost a technological impossibility. It would be hard to imagine the Fremont Street experience without Viva Vision. Viva Vision is that ginormous canopy of lights above your head as you go down Fremont Street. It takes up virtually the entire length of the street and is comprised of an incredible array of lights showing the most amazing choreographed performances of sounds and images you will ever see in your entire life. Viva Vision, however, when it was built in the 90s, was pretty much a technological impossibility. In fact, it almost did not happen. In the 90s, when they built Viva Vision, they took 2.1 million incandescent light bulbs and strung them up in a huge canopy over your head. That entire light show was ran by no less than 32 individual computers, each one housed in its own separate individual kiosk along Fremont Street. It was a networking and engineering marvel at the time that almost was not able to be accomplished because of its complexity. In addition to that, it packed some pretty powerful sound. The original sound system delivered 330 watts of mind-blowing sound to accompany the amazingly choreographed computer graphics that at the time were unlike anything that anybody had ever seen on them. Now, Las Vegas, not being a city to leave anything aging or just well enough, decided to upgrade the Fremont Street experience and the Viva Vision canopy in 2004. So they took out all of those light bulbs and they replaced them with over 12 million individual LEDs. And in addition to that, upgraded the sound system so it now delivers an even more mind-blowing 550,000 watts of power. They've also consistently added brand new shows throughout the years, so you never quite know what it is you're going to walk into when you go to experience Viva Vision. It might be some of the classics like The Doors, or it could be your latest EDM hit. You never really know, but one thing you can always be sure of is that Viva Vision will blow your mind each and every time you see it. Our eighth shocking secret of Old Las Vegas: the mob ruled Old Las Vegas for many, many years. Like almost every hotel and casino in the entire city of Las Vegas, the casinos along Fremont Street can almost all trace their history right on back to that era when the mob ruled this town and controlled all of the gaming. It wasn't all that long ago. For instance, the D Las Vegas originally was the Sundance Hotel, opened in 1980 on land owned by Mo Dalitz. Dalitz, an organized crime figure, faced difficulty from the Gaming Commission, so the casino was normally ran by his associates, Al Sachs and Herb Tobin, who also owned the Stardust and Fremont casinos. All three were later proven to be criminals. Also, Binion's, the Las Vegas Club, and many, many downtown casinos were all owned and operated or founded by Lester Binion, who is a noted gambling icon, but also a notoriously ruthless mob boss. And that wasn't the end of the mobster involvement on Fremont Street. It seems it continued right on down to the very end of the street when they built what was one of the most luxurious casinos of its time, and that is the El Cortez. The El Cortez, downtown Las Vegas' first major resort in 1941, was built for $245,000. The location at 6th Street and Fremont was originally considered far too far away from downtown, but it quickly became very profitable, mostly due to gangsters like Bugsy Siegel, Mayor Linsky, Gus Greenbaum, and Mo Sedway, who all bought the property in 1945 from Jay Hustles for $600,000, which I guess, especially in those days, was a hell of a lot of money. Unless, of course, you just happen to be a mob boss. And speaking of the El Cortez, that just happens to be the site of our ninth and final shocking secret of Old Las Vegas. The El Cortez, it has one of the coolest hotel suites in all of downtown Las Vegas. Now, you may say, what is so cool about this hotel suite? Is it the fact that it looks like a time capsule of the 1980s? Is it that a notorious mob boss, alleged mob boss, used to sleep there? Is it that it was decorated by his wife? Is it that it overlooks the entire city? Well, the answer to all this really is yes. This suite is known as the Jackie Gaughan suite, and it is a tribute to him and his late wife, both of whom lived there until their dying days. The Jackie Gaughan suite is a tribute to El Cortez's former owner, Jackie Gaughan. He and his wife, Bertie Gaughan, lived in the 2-bedroom, 2.5-bath suite with living room, setting room, and kitchen for over 25 years. Jackie Gaughan died in 2014, and the suite has only recently become available for bookings. It is, however, not as simple as just calling the hotel and booking the Jackie Gaughan suite. You really have to apply and be approved by the hotel itself. They review each and every application to make sure you're a good fit for the room and that you have a compelling reason to actually stay there. One of the coolest things about the suite, though, is the decor. It really is a time capsule of the 1980s. The 1980s decor truly is something you have to see. With pink upholstered walls and pink marble, with gold bathrooms, the suite is even complete with a blue kitchen that has all original appliances. It truly is a sight to behold. If you are ever interested in staying at the Jackie Gaughan suite, just contact the El Cortez. I'm sure they'd be more than happy to screen your application to stay there. I hope you've enjoyed this look at the 9 shocking secrets of old Las Vegas. Once again, I'm Shawn, editor at screwymonkey.com. Couple of things. One, this video was inspired by our original Shocking Secrets of the Las Vegas Strip video. I really would love for you to watch that video by clicking the card over here. Number 2, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. I don't want you to miss any of the exciting and wonderful things we have coming out this year. So just click over there to subscribe to the channel. Lastly, this video right here, well, it's something YouTube thinks that you would enjoy. So go ahead and give it a click as well. Thank you for joining us as we celebrate human culture one screwy monkey at a time.